And welcome back to another podcast with Mr. Hagan. On this podcast, we're going to do yet another example using the aggregate demand, short and aggregate supply model. And we're going to do actually two real-world events here. We're going to look at the idea of a government passing a stimulus package, cutting taxes, and doing those two policies at the same time. So my real-world event is that the government's going to increase spending on infrastructure. So that's a kind of a normal thing that government might do, increase spending on infrastructure. That means things like roads, bridges, things like that. And then in addition to that, let's say the government is going to decrease or cut the corporate tax. They're going to decrease or cut corporate taxes. So those are the two things that two policies that the government's going to engage in. And we're going to look at this from a very Keynesian point of view, because we're looking here from a short run point of view. And so first thing we got to do is match up our determinants, and I'm going to say my first determinant is if the government increases spending on infrastructure, that's going to be a change in government spending. And then the second one is if they decrease corporate taxes, then that's going to be a change. I'm going to put this under investment. You could put taxes under change in consumption, or you could put it under change in investment. I'm going to put this under change in investment because it's corporate taxes. So I'm going to call this a change in investment business taxes. Change in investment business taxes. Now, either way, both of these are going to have the same influence according to the Keynesian model. Both of these are going to increase the aggregate demand, increase government spending, increase in investment in response to the decreased corporate taxes. Both of those are going to increase total spending in society, shifting the aggregate demand curve out to the right, And let's just record that right here. Aggregate demand curve is going to shift to the right. And then let's write what our story is. Our aggregate demand story here is going to be that you got an increase in government spending, and you got also you have a decrease in corporate taxes, which causes an increase in investment. So both of those things mean increased government spending, and both of those then are going to shift the aggregate demand curve to the right. As government begins spending more money, as corporations begin investing more, they're going to go out into the markets and they're going to bid up prices. And so prices are going to get bid up. As prices get bid up, then we got to come back down here and tell the short-run aggregate supply curve, which is going to be moving along the short-run aggregate supply curve. Short-run aggregate supply curve did not shift. As aggregate demand shifts to the right, prices are going to get bid up as government and investors spend more money. As prices get bid up, okay, now we got to go back to this. Now we got to get back to this other story. Actually, let me back that up here. Let's first write here what this is called. This is going to be the sticky wages story again. So this is going to be sticky wages. Sticky wages. And remember that real wages are equal to nominal wages divided by prices. Real wages equal nominal wages divided by prices. So if you get an increase in prices as government and investors begin spending more money, prices are going to get bid up. That's going to be inflationary. As prices get bid up, if nominal wages are sticky, nominal wages do not change, then real wages are going to decline. Real wages are going to decline. And as real wages decline, we get a decrease in real wages. That means that companies are going to hire more workers. Oh, I should back this up here. Let me come back to that argument here in a second. First, let's say this. The first step in this was we had an increase in prices. Now back to what I was just about to say. The increase in prices causes the decrease in real wages, and the decrease in real wages causes companies to hire more workers, and as they hire more workers, that will increase the gross domestic product. That will increase gross domestic product. So higher prices cause higher production. And right here it is. As the government begins to spend more, prices begin to get bid up, real wages begin to fall because of sticky wages, companies begin increasing production, we move along the aggregate demand curve, and here it is, increase in gross domestic product. And so what's my final answer over here? My final answer is that we got an increase in prices, that's inflation. We get an increase in the gross domestic product, that's production, and we get a decrease in unemployment. Unemployment's going to move in the opposite direction as gross domestic product, as companies begin to hire more workers. All right, this has been another podcast with Mr. Hagan. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next podcast.